Hello and hello to my super cool subscribers. Today, class, I want to target the folks who do not understand aromantic asexuality. The ignorant little fellas who genuinely mean no harm, they're just a little confused. And if you're one of those people who don't understand stuff, how are you? I appreciate you trying to learn more about us aroace people. It's good to learn stuff. I love a girl who can understand stuff. And if you're aromantic and or asexual yourself, hey, how are you? You're looking better since the last time I saw you. It's kind of freaking me out. Okay, for this video, I'll be giving honest answers, teaching you about aromantic asexuality, but also, every now and slipping in or whatever, talking about my own perspective or experience being aromantic asexual myself, or aroace. Aro being aromantic, ace being asexual. I am aromantic asexual, and if I were to be a little more specific, I would say I'm a repulsed aromantic gray sexual. But we're not going to talk about that yet. We're not going to jump into the deep end yet because, baby needs their floaties first. So welcome to BMUD University. First, let's start with the basics. What the hell is aromantic asexuality? An aromantic is someone who experiences little to no romantic attraction, and an asexual person is someone who experiences little to no sexual attraction. For someone who isn't aromantic, who isn't asexual and kind of just experience romantic attraction and sexual attraction in a more normal, average kind of way, I'm gonna read off what I wrote down so I don't mess up. Kind of confuses my brain, even though I'm the one that typed it. I wrote this. A person can be aromantic and not be asexual, which means they can experience little to no romantic attraction, but can still experience sexual attraction. Vice versa, a person can be asexual but not aromantic, which means they can experience little to no sexual attraction, but can still experience romantic attraction. And a person, are you paying attention? A person can be both aromantic and asexual, experiencing little to no romantic or sexual attraction. Just the existence of not feeling sexual attraction or not feeling romantic attraction or feeling very little of those things to the point where they're almost non-existent sometimes. It sounds crazy to a lot of people who aren't aroace because they're just like, how can that even exists? And people who don't identify as aroace have a hard time understanding the fact that romantic attraction and sexual attraction are two separate things. You can feel them both separately, one at a time, or you can feel them both at the same time. And usually people who aren't aroace are attracted to someone or is pursuing someone in a relationship or whatever. Sexual attraction and romantic attraction, a lot of times you feel them quite normally. They usually catch up to one another. Say if you're sexually attracted to someone at first, usually romantic attraction is running right after. Some people have a hard time believing it's separate, but some people can be romantically attracted to someone but not really sexually attracted. And some people are aroace and they're like, I don't feel romantic attraction but I feel sexual, or I don't feel sexual but I feel romantic, blah 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 blah. Sorry, a teacher shouldn't say blah blah blah. They're gonna cut down my paycheck for this. On to the next question. How can you be aromantic asexual? That's what I hear a lot. It's mainly said out of disbelief. They're not being spiteful or mean or disrespectful about it. They're just genuinely confused. And they're like, how? How can you not have romantic or sexual attraction? Or how can you be aromantic asexual? How is that even possible? Isn't that part of being a person? That's what I've been told all my life. That's just part of humanity. It's everywhere. For most aroace people, you just are aroace. There's basically somewhere in our genetics that just made us that way. There's research going on it now, as there's probably a lot of gay scientists, I don't know. But it is said that there is a hormone or whatever inside the body or inside the brain or whatever, inside one of the genes. It's somewhere in our hormones, in our genetics, that made us aroace. For most aroace people, we've just been feeling this way for as long as we can remember. We did not choose to be aroace, because why would we choose to be aromantic or asexual or asexual in a world where that's weird, and in a world where being in love is like the best thing in the world, or having sex is one of humans' greatest actions. So it's like, why would airways people be like, yeah, we don't want that? Or we didn't make ourselves airways because we don't get hoes. Because I can't, okay? I can't. In some cases, people unfortunately can become asexual due to sexual trauma, and they would be considered caedsexual. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's like CAEDC. I'm just gonna put the word up there because apparently I can look at the word and still say the wrong letter. Like, it's easier to think about someone who has been sexually traumatized and they're no longer interested in sex, because then it's like, oh, that makes sense. But for someone to just not be interested, it's like, why would you choose that? Or how could that even be possible? So they usually believe a lot of airways people, or typically asexual people, have been traumatized in some way that has made them to be asexual or aromantic. Like, the thing is, most airways people are literally just born that way. Just like how I was born with a fat ass. Won't you be lonely and sad? And the thing is, yes, but it's not for the reasons that you're thinking of. I know that a lot of allosexual and alloromantic people will feel sad or lonely if they're not in a relationship, or upset if they're not having sex, you know? And allosexual and alloromantic people desire, a romantic touch, intimacy, going on dates, marriage, I don't know, whatever those kids do, marriage and all that. I don't know what that is. Typical person, they feel sad and they feel lonely, and they're like, I don't want to live alone because I'm gonna die alone, and I'm afraid of dying alone because I want to have children, but I can't have children if I don't have a partner, and I need love or I'm gonna die, or something like that. For the most part, airways people don't want to be in a relationship or have sex or something like that. So if we don't want it, we're not going to be sad about being single. We're not going to feel lonely because we don't have a partner. That's the difference between you and I. Airways people like being single. We love it. We want to be that way forever. Now, the way airways people can be lonely is if we don't have friends, because we still, we still have feelings, we still feel a desire to connect, and we still have love in our hearts, just like every other person, except, we don't want to date anyone, for the most part, depending on where you are on the asexual and the aromantic spectrum, because it is a spectrum. I'm sorry to throw that at you, but there's a spectrum, okay? I'm so sorry. I know this is sudden. Please don't cut down my paycheck. Yeah, airways people can get lonely, but it's not because we're single, it's because we want friends. Next question. If you're airways, can you still be like straight or bisexual or gay or lesbian or whatever? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. And to use me as an example, I'm aromantic asexual, but I'm also pansexual, I think. Pretty sure. How can you be airways and insert sexuality? Now there are airways people who, feel no romantic or any sexual attraction. Like, the way where they sit on the spectrum is far down aromantic and far down asexual. That's really aggressive, but that's where they sit on the spectrum, okay? They feel none of those feelings, and those people exist. And no, they're not psychopaths. And yes, they can still feel love just as easily as someone else. Just imagine a normal person and you just cut out the part of them that makes them attracted to people. I'm sure there's a lot of anime characters like that. Like, they never had like a romantic or sexual plot. They're just there having fun. Like Luffy from One Piece. From what I can remember, he's never had a romantic or sexual plot. Like, he's airways icon. I don't even know. But people don't look at him and be like, oh, he doesn't have feelings, or he's a robot, or whatever. Like, no, he's a happy guy, he's brave, he's strong, and he's very loving. Well, so to go back on track, the aroace people who feel like no sexual or no romantic attraction, they probably even wouldn't have another title like straight or bi or whatever. They're just aroace because they simply aren't attracted to people in a romantic or sexual way. But in my case, I may be a repulsed aromantic, but I am still gray sexual. Like, I'm in the gray area of asexual. I don't experience romantic attraction towards, other people or just in general, to the point where I'm even like basically repulsed at the idea of being in a relationship. Like, I can't even imagine it. But I am gray sexual. It means I can still experience sexual attraction, but it's very rare or doesn't happen that often, and it's very low intensity. It's not really something I want to act on because I don't know, I don't care to. I'm gonna look at the laptop screen. Okay, everyone look. Read the screen. Just kidding. Oh no. Class? No. So because I can still experience sexual attraction, even if it's rare or at very low intensity, it had made me realize what my other sexuality is. So there's 5 questions I hear people ask me or other aroace people. So I'm gonna make a part 2 because there's so much more questions that I think are kind of fun, or I think need to be addressed, or I think there's a lot of misconception, or I just feel like people just want to know or whatever. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this video or found it informative or helped you feel more seen if you're an aroace person yourself. And even if you're aroace, maybe you're new to it and there's some stuff you don't know yet. Definitely leave a comment because I love seeing what you guys have to say. And be sure to correct anything I've said wrong, because also leave down an aroace question, below in the comments if you want me to answer them. And it will mean so much more if you can subscribe to me if you're already not, because my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year, and it would just mean a lot to me. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.